The Livonia Public Schools long-term facility plan has called for consideration to renovate key commonly used areas in our schools outside of classrooms. The school district identified as priorities the high school fine arts areas and the secondary cafeterias. These are commonly used by many students and community members for multiple functions, and thus recognized as high priority areas for upgrades. In addition, school entryways and office locations were identified for improvement for safety reasons and to provide a facelift to the most traveled and visible area of our schools. Looking at these specific areas in our school facilities, the district began exploring their current condition through visits to our schools and by visiting other school districts. The district found that we are on par with surrounding communities with our athletic facilities, but are not equal when looking at our fine arts and cafeteria spaces. Much of our fine arts, cafeteria, and entranceway areas are original to the building, are aging, worn out, and in need of an upgrade. And we can improve safety and security through renovation of our entranceways and office locations. These findings were in line with several suggestions made in the long-term facility plan. This plan, developed through feedback of staff, community members, and students, outlined the fine arts areas as one of the highest priorities for renovation. In addition, cafeteria facilities and safety were key concepts that came up in recent community forums. Thus, they have been included as a part of this district's bond proposal.
At Franklin, our students of tomorrow are using stage equipment and theater equipment that pretty much this guy could have used back in the 1700s. It's kind of old, it's kind of antiquated, and it really needs a redo. It really needs a makeover. It's past its time. Sometimes we feel like we're piecing things together with Band-Aids and with duct tape. From the electrical outlets that there aren't enough, and you'll see the pictures, it's a mess. From the lighting, oftentimes I've been on stage where can't get light on myself or the jazz band. The sound cuts out and cuts in. There's significant problems in our theater area, and we really know we can do better. With me, I have Colleen Meyer, who is the Franklin High School play director. She's run several plays for us, and she's going to share some concerns as well. Our biggest concerns revolve around our equipment needs and our storage needs.
Our lighting equipment is extremely old and outdated. We still run our lights off of an analog system. In this modern age, a digital system is currently what is used, along with the lighting, our lighting bars. Unfortunately, the way the stage is set up right now, the cove that the lights are hung from right now don't give the maximum potential to light the stage and the surrounding areas of the stage. The newer soundboards are digital and they're programmable. The advantage of this is that the levels of the sound of each mic can be pre-programmed and recorded. Again, this allows just for better sound quality with fewer lost sound cues and less feedback. The curtains are over 20 years old and are in desperate need of repair or replacement. The stage floor was originally built as a hardwood auditorium floor, but over the years, doing major musical productions, choir concerts and band concerts with several platforms being rolled off and on, set pieces, risers, the stage has really taken a beating. The students have really worked hard over the years to build some beautiful set and prop pieces. Unfortunately, due to the lack of storage we have to usually give away or throw away set pieces at the end of the show. As far as lack of space also is our lack of dressing room, makeup rooms, and backstage restrooms. Right now we have a small costume room, which doubles also as a dressing room. At times, we use there's 2 stall bathrooms down the hall from the theater as dressing rooms. We've also used the auto shop for makeup rooms, and also the choir room, which is down the hall.
The district is also looking to replace its old, worn-out musical instruments, some which are actually original to the school facilities themselves.
When I think about the Frost cafeteria, I can see lots of improvements that can be made here. If you take a look at our cafeteria, you're going to see that it's pretty drab. It doesn't really have the inviting, appealing atmosphere that I would like to see in the cafeteria. When I think about kids coming into the cafeteria, I want them to have their 25-minute lunch be a time where they can interact with others in an atmosphere that's an inviting and appealing atmosphere, where they've got some choice maybe in the types of tables that they're sitting at. I'm thinking we have the possibility of having, some of the standard tables. Maybe along the windows we could have some countertops with some stools situated in front of them so students can look out if they want to sit at something like that. Maybe some round tables as well as tables with benches the way we've had before. Have some chairs with backs to them, because that is definitely a little bit more comfortable for kids. It's also an area that we use for student plays. We have the stage. That needs some drastic updating. The Frost stage does anyway. So that we could have some new lighting here and have the floor refurbished. Our curtains need to be replaced. We have when we need to show something on using a projector on a screen, what we're using the old pop-up screens. It would be great to have something that was electronic and something larger so that we could use it for large groups of students. Also use the cafeteria maybe during the course of the day for students as they're doing group work, and just have one more place for students to function in. So I'm pretty excited about that. When you take a look at the ceiling and the floor, they're pretty outdated. I'd like to see a new floor here at Frost Cafeteria, as well as a new ceiling. When you look at the soffit areas are pretty retro. They were fine when Frost was built decades ago, but now we'd like to have something new with maybe an element of color. Again, something that is appealing for kids as well as the community when they come to use this area. The windows definitely need to be replaced. The blinds that we have have really seen their better days. It would also be really nice if we could update our sound system. The speakers that we have here and the sound system in general is very dated. Students make plenty of use out of our snack bar areas. Lots of kids come through just to buy a few things, so it would be a nice opportunity for us to update that and make that a little bit nicer for students to make their purchases, and maybe a more efficient way of doing things.
Buchanan School was renovated in the summer of 2008, and we received updated classrooms which made the learning environment much more conducive for both students and teachers. But in addition to that, probably the most important is that we became much more safe and secure an environment for students to learn. The best thing that we did to enhance a secure environment here at Buchanan was to move the office from absolutely the middle of the school to right next to the front door. It gave us better visibility in terms of students who might be arriving late to school or visitors who come during the day, deliveries and service people. We can really see who's at our door. This allowed us to have a front lobby that we can manually lock at the end of the day when the front doors automatically unlock and people arrive to pick up children. We can prevent access to the entire school and direct people to the gym where staff can supervise children who are getting picked up, and we can assure that children are going home with the people they're meant to go home with.
The school district believes that improvements to these key areas used by thousands of students each day will improve the school atmosphere along with its functionality and safety. These improvements will keep our schools attractive to current and prospective parents and will create a sense of pride in our community and among our students. As the saying goes, as the schools go, so goes the community.